By the end of this video, I'm going to teach you how to become a checkout hero. Hey guys, Coach Matt here. All right, so today we're going to be doing a checkout hero video on Costco protein drinks. And, if you've ever been in Costco or in a supermarket staring at a wall of options of things that you want to buy and not sure what to do, like many of us, you probably didn't feel like a checkout hero. But at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you which one I would buy. In fact, I'll tell you right now, if I had to pick one of those two, I would pick the Orgain. However, you need to watch this video to learn and understand why and what matters most, and then so you can ultimately become your own checkout hero and do this on your own. Okay? So as I tell you that I'm going to help you become a checkout hero, let me begin by saying, why should you listen to me? Well, here's why. First, I've got more than 25 years of food industry experience. I've been in the business, wholesale, selling, sourcing, and evaluating ingredients and products for many, many years. Okay, I've evaluated hundreds of products and brands as part of my job. Second, I've got 2 nutrition coaching certifications, and I've coached over 100 people with their weight loss, with their fitness, with their mindset on this stuff. And so I've been in the trenches working with real people, and so I know how to fit these things into your life, which is the most important thing ultimately, as you'll see as we move on this video. Okay? You should also consider listening to me because I freely admit that I don't know everything. Okay? If you run into someone who claims that they know everything, probably run the other way. Okay? I do not have a dietary agenda. There is no one diet that I push that works. There is no one diet that works for everyone. I'm very flexible on that stuff. Yes, there are certain principles that I believe should be adhered to based on the evidence most of the time. But I will change my positions and opinions. And in this video, I'm also going to give you an example of how I have done that significantly over the years in one case. And I really do care deeply about you and your well-being. Okay. Also, let's move into the second question. Second question, what matters most when it comes to choosing something in the supermarket? Okay. Well, there's a few things, right? Okay. Some personal reasons, such as, do you like the way it tastes, right? Why are you buying this? What is it for, right? Why are you shopping for protein drinks, okay? What's the price? What are the ingredients? What are the attributes? What are the company's practices? And we're going to dive into this in terms of the 2 drinks I pictured in the beginning in a moment, okay? Also, what doesn't matter, right? There's a lot of stuff out there that doesn't matter that can distract you. Look, here, I'll tell you that years ago, I used to kind of die on the cross of read the ingredients, right? I wasn't ever a fear-mongering type person, putting videos out on Instagram that were trying to scare people. However, I would tell clients in conversations that it was of the utmost importance to read the ingredients. I no longer do that. Now, I still do read all the ingredients on everything I purchase. However, I don't panic about them, right? Because I've learned and adjusted my position a bit on this a bit that, if there's a tiny amount of something in something, and then of course the dose matters, how often are you eating it, right? It's probably not the most important thing if you're just in general, not eating a healthy diet in general, right? So we're going to get into that. But I'm not here to scare anybody, okay? For sure. Now, let's keep moving on. So what matters the most? Well, as I alluded to a moment ago, eating a diet that's full of mostly whole, less processed, and nutrient-dense foods. Making sure you're getting adequate protein, fruits and vegetables, and whole grains and healthy fats. Energy balance, healthy eating behaviors, right? Like consistency and flexibility and being happy. And these are many of the things that I teach and have mini courses on in my free coaching community. But if you notice, what matters the most is not every little tiny ingredient that you might not understand or have to Google on every product. Okay, that doesn't matter the most, especially if you're not getting these things right first. Okay. Moving on. What should you watch out for when food shopping? Okay. Well, a couple of things to mention. Everyone is selling something. Now, that doesn't always mean it's malicious or or with evil intent, right? It's okay to sell something, especially if it's going to help people in some way. But you should be aware that everyone is selling something, okay? And the food industry is a big business. It exceeds $1 trillion per year. And so the marketing is very, very, very clever. Some of the things that you see in the supermarket have a lot of money and advertising behind them that's subliminal in some cases, and if not, and sometimes it's just overt right in your face, but it's hard to resist and it's hard to figure out sometimes. Okay, so nothing. Just know that when you're in the supermarket, nothing that you see on any package is on that package by accident, right? Okay. In addition, I'll add that nothing is omitted by accident either. So you'll see what I mean in a moment. So let's take a look at the two drinks that I showed you a picture of in the beginning. All right. And again, this was a real question from a friend who texted me from the supermarket. He said, Matt, which one should I buy? He texted me a picture of each of these things. He was literally in Costco. And so I gave him my quick answer that I gave you. I told him that I would pick the Orgain. And now we're going to break it down. Here's why I said that. Okay. Comparing these things side by side, they're both good drinks. Let me say that. Okay. If you need a protein drink. Okay. Now, if you look at the protein content, it's important to note that while they have similar amounts per bottle, the one on the right, the Orgain, has much more protein per ounce because it's an 11-ounce bottle, a smaller bottle. So you always have to compare things when you're doing by price or when you're comparing things apples to apples. Okay. So on the right, the Orgain gives you more protein per ounce, a good amount more. I do read the ingredients, so when I look at these, you can see clearly a difference here. The first ingredient is always the most predominant ingredient in the product. That's a rule, okay? They don't tell you what proportion, but what you can see is that the core power is made from mostly milk, and the Orgain shake is made from mostly water. Now, the core power is, they have I'll skip it to the bottom row here. It's uniquely filtered, right? So when it says filtered grade A low-fat milk, that follows I went to the Fairlife website to read a bit more about this. What they do with their milk is they have this all there. You can read it for yourself, but they have a proprietary filtering process that removes some of the sugar from the milk and leaves you with basically mostly beneficial protein. So it's not the same thing as just drinking straight, regular, low-fat milk. It's been filtered to be higher in protein. Okay. Other things to note: you can see that the core power has small amounts of carrageenan and natural flavors, and the Orgain has small amounts of organic sunflower oil, sunflower lecithin, and natural flavors. So I don't put those there to scare you. I put them there just to bring to light. I know that some of you watching this may be concerned about those things, so you should be aware of them. I know that when I have had a few foods that have been very high in carrageenan, they have upset my stomach. Okay, but this is a very, very small amount. Okay. Now, also, when you look at the pricing and you break it down per ounce, this is based on Costco pricing as of today, as of the date of filming this video. The Orgain shake is cheaper. Now, sometimes you get what you pay for, right? So that's something to consider. But if you're just looking for how much per ounce, Orgain is going to be a better deal. Okay. Moving on. What about the attributes? What about the qualities? Well, neither one is certified organic or certified non-GMO. Okay. Now, I spent a few minutes on each company's website trying to find out more information. This is stuff that you don't have time for when you're in the store, frankly. Okay. But when you start to become familiar with brands and then trust certain brands, then you don't have to keep looking this stuff up. So I basically found, after looking at each site for 5, maybe 10 minutes each, that, they both are pretty good drinks, right? So, I would prefer something to be organic and grass-fed, especially if it's dairy. Neither one is in this case. So if I had to pick one of the two, I mentioned I would pick the Orgain, okay? But it's important to just note that if the attributes are important to you, neither one of these is a certified organic drink, and neither one is a certified non-GMO drink. You can see that I mentioned a little more here, right? So the Core Power website I thought was better. There was easier to find the information. It was very quick, very easy to find. The Orgain site, while they do make several certified organic products, it's a little hard to find, at least in my opinion, on their website, this kind of information. So, I could call them or send their customer service an email to get more info, but, that's what I was able to find in 5 minutes, okay? Next. So I told you if I had to pick one, if I had to choose one of these two, I'd buy the Orgain. I also want to say that I would be completely comfortable trying the Core Power as a drink. Now, here's why. Here's my reasoning after having said all of what I just said. Okay. First, I am used to making smoothies at home. That's my go-to. There's a picture of my smoothie, which I have recipes and links to for free. I make that with whey protein concentrate, a powder from Kion, who I am affiliated with. Okay, but I've also been using their product for many years before I ever became an affiliate. So I just like whey protein concentrate. I've done a little bit of digging into that. It's a great secondary source of protein as opposed to getting it from food. And so the Or grain is a little bit like that in that it's water mixed with a protein concentrate. Okay. Also, if it were me and I wanted something post workout, I probably would prefer a smaller drink of water blended with protein powder than a 14-ounce glass of milk. That's just me. Okay. So those are some of my personal preferences. Remember, this video is which one I would choose, and also just telling you how I think about these things. Okay. So as I mentioned, the Or grain seems to me to be a little bit more of an efficient drink because it has higher in protein per ounce. Okay. So let's talk about protein for a minute. Of course, I have full courses on this for free, mini courses in my school community. Which you can find the links in my bio, and I'll have one shared at the end of this video. But here's how I think about protein in general, right? So your primary places to get protein in your diet should be from high quality whole foods, okay? Now, if you're not an animal-based food eater, that's okay. You can get that from beans and legumes and other places like that you probably are familiar with. If you do eat animal food, then those are great sources of protein. Now, those are always my first go-to options. So yes, while I do keep beef jerky in my bag when I go out, and I do have a smoothie with protein powder almost every day and share it with my family, those are not my primary options. Those are my secondary options, right? So I'm always making sure that at most meals I'm having adequate protein whenever possible from the top level there. Now, if I can't do those for some reason because I have to be on the go because they're not available, I'll look to that secondary group, maybe some fattier meat, maybe jerky or powder, or a drink like the ones that we're talking about. And lastly, the third options that I personally almost never eat are, the vast majority of bars, fried foods, and highly fatty and processed meats. Okay? That's just a personal choice. Now, as I said before, if your diet is high in the third level there, then which protein drink you pick is not the most important thing for you. You need to figure out how to improve the overall quality of your diet. Okay? So, moving on to the next slide. Closing thoughts. Okay, remember, there is no such thing as a good or a bad food. It totally depends on the person and the dose, right? For example, quinoa is great for many people. Doesn't agree with my stomach, so I don't eat it. Okay? McDonald's French fries, I certainly don't recommend that you eat them every day. However, if you have one French fry, per year, like the dose is so small, it's not going to kill you, okay? So I teach more about this in my free community, but there ultimately is no such thing as a good or a bad food. Second thing is, whatever you choose has to work for you. So even though I said I like the Or grain, if you don't like the way it tastes, then you should probably buy the Core Power, all right? Okay? So it has to stick with your life. It has to fit with you. Maybe certain thing is available by you. Maybe certain thing is easy for you to make it consistent. These are the little nuances that really matter, okay? And also, it doesn't really matter that much which one you drink, which of the two drinks you choose, especially if your eating habits, that some of them, which I mentioned earlier, are not consistent, okay? So as we approach almost 14 minutes, I want to close out this video and let you know that I do have free coaching for busy parents in my free school community. Got some pictures there. I've got awesome mini courses, free coaching calls, an awesome supportive community, training videos, and much more. So if you're interested, just go to that URL or click the link in my bio. Again, don't just take my word for it. I've got lots of testimonials and lots of progress and results happening in there. And so I want to thank you for watching this video. I am Coach Matt Freed. Have a great day and stay tuned for more Checkout Hero videos coming soon.